Let me guess, you're watching this video because you're a wedding planner and your packages are not converting like they used to, or you're new to the wedding planning business and you want to know what you should be including in your wedding planning packages. Well, today we have a long overdue video all about wedding planning packages that convert in 2025, because believe it or not, things are changing and what once worked doesn't always work. And what I want you to do is to refine your services and your pricing this year to meet your clients exactly where they're at. Hey there, friends. It's Candice Coppola, your business BFF over here on YouTube. I'm excited for today's video, but first, I want to remind you to subscribe if you're new around here. If you are a wedding planner who is in the beginning stages of your business and even more advanced, I drop new videos on Thursday talking all things wedding planning for planners, everything from business to mindset to client experience, processes, and systems. We talk about it all here on my YouTube channel, and I'd love to have you as a part of our community. And if you're not familiar with me, I'm Candice, and I'm a former wedding planner and designer who's been doing this a long time. In 2019, I sold my business so I could teach you everything I know about the industry, and I have mentored and coached thousands of wedding planners. And I think that I am so qualified to speak on most topics related to wedding planning because not only have I experienced it firsthand as a planner and as a business owner, but I have the ultimate think tank of hundreds of wedding planners that I serve every single month inside my community, the Planners Playbook, and my Mastermind Wedding Pro Insiders, where I hear all the time from the newest of new planners to the OGs, all of what's going on in the wedding industry and what they're struggling with. And so today, what we're talking about is how you can create wedding planning packages in your business that will convert in 2025. You might be experiencing right now some pushback from your clients. You might be noticing that it's taking them longer to make decisions after they've consulted with you. And if you're brand new and you haven't even booked a client yet, you might not know any of this, but you will be prepared to sell your services after this video. We're examining all things wedding planning packages, and I'm going to walk you through some surprising steps and adjustments that you can make to your planning packages so that they can convert better this year. Because I'm all about you making money doing something that you love, which is wedding planning. And I gotta be honest, 2024 was a little bit of a rough year for conversions. It seems like the wedding industry had quite a bit of a downturn, and the majority of wedding pros did experience a dip in their business. But I have to be honest, I feel like 2025 is going to be a positive year, especially if you implement some of these tips. Now, you might have some questions like, what should I include in my packages? And why are people buying my highest price package? We're going to cover that all in today's video. Now, I have a little bit of a note situation happening over here because we have a lot to cover and not a lot of time to do it. So you may see me looking over just to reference my notes because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So are you ready to dive in? Let's get started. The first step in creating packages that convert this year in 2025 is to just do a little check-in with your mindset. Before we can get tactical and start implementing proven strategies, I want you to think about your mindset and what you might be bringing to the table, or should I say, what you might be bringing to your wedding planning packages. If you're creating packages out of fear, thinking I have to offer this service or my clients, my leads, they won't book me, or I have to give them everything, I have to pump so much value into my packages and services or people won't book me, then you might be building a business that actually isn't aligned with what you want, and also, spoiler, not aligned with what your ideal clients want. Believe it or not, the days of everything in the kitchen sink, in service packages, even in my field of education is over. Most consumers want to cut straight to the point and they want no fluff. They want you as the planner to actually cut through all the noise and just present them with simple options for them to make a decision. Couples aren't interested in big to-do lists and checklists and spreadsheets and all these forms and files. That's not necessarily what's driving them to connect with you as their planner. So this is where you need to examine what you're bringing to your packages and if you need to do a little bit of mindset work. What I'd love for you to do is comment below this video and let me know what mindsets you might be bringing to your packages or your services that are actually getting in the way of you selling. Is it scarcity? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it the belief that you have to offer everybody everything? Are you trying to people please your clients? I'd love to hear from you. But with that said, let's go back to packages that excite you. Because if you are going to offer services and if you're going to be a wedding planner in a stressful job, girl, you need to make sure that you are excited about the services that you're offering. And services that you offer that don't excite you can lead to burnout. It can lead to resentment of your clients. It can lead to a lack of enthusiasm in your work. And that's not what I want from you, not in 2025. 2025 is all about the glow up, and it's all about you getting aligned with what you want to offer in your business and trying to meet your clients where they're at, what they want from you. So I want you to ask yourself a couple of simple questions. Am I offering services that I want to do, or am I offering stuff that I just think I should do? Great question to ask yourself. What makes me excited to wake up every single morning to serve my clients? That is what your packages should reflect. Now, just a little disclaimer, by no means am I saying that you should strip away all the vital services of your packages. I'm operating under the assumption that you enjoy the core services that a wedding planner offers, like timeline creation and budget management and vendor communication. So if those things are just like flying off your list, you need a coaching session. You need to kind of rethink maybe if wedding planning is the right fit for you and maybe if there's something else in the industry that you should do. So that's the assumption that I'm operating underneath. Now, the second step in creating packages that convert this year is to also focus on what your clients value. So we've examined what we love to offer and what we don't particularly like. And now it's time for us to get real about what our clients value. As I mentioned before, your clients, their values are shifting and changing. Gen Z values different things than millennials valued as they were planning their wedding. And so packages that sell solve a problem. Let me repeat that. Packages that sell solve a problem. And you need to understand what problems you solve for your clients. This is going to depend on the types of customers you work with, their budgets, their style of wedding, their age range. It really depends on who your ideal client is. If you have no idea who your ideal client is, I have a great course. It's called The Client Cocktail. It's $47 and it's going to walk you through my simple formula for discovering who your best clients are, and it will help you answer this question. It's required in 2025 that you understand the clients that you serve and that you create space in your services to solve their problems and also give them what they value. Remember I said clients don't value spreadsheets and checklists as much as they used to? What do they value instead? It's up to you to figure this out, but we need to know in order for you to create wedding planning packages that convert. So ask yourself, what do my ideal clients need help with the most? And what would they pay a premium price to outsource? What would they pay a premium price to just let someone do it on their behalf? And what makes me the choice over other planners who are just as qualified and just as talented in my market as I am? Why am I the choice? Why would they choose me? And like I mentioned, if you're not prepared to answer these questions, don't worry. I have an amazing course, The Client Cocktail. I've linked to it in the description box below. And I'd love for you to purchase the course, go and take it. It's going to change how you think about your ideal clients, and it's going to help you create packages that convert this year. The third step in creating packages that convert is to actually remove things from your offerings. Remember how I said that you might be offering too much and this whole kitchen sink philosophy no longer applies? Well, this is where you get to go into your packages and refine what you offer, making sure that you're offering services that are in alignment with what you want and in alignment with what your client needs and what they desire. What I have seen over the years is that too many wedding planners look to the left and look to the right, and they offer services that other planners offer without really asking the question, is this right for my business? We think that we should just copy what other people are doing and that is actually working. And what I'm here to tell you as the, Wizard of Oz behind the scenes is a lot of what you see people doing doesn't necessarily work, and they're also just making it up too. So it's not the best strategy to copy what you see other people doing. But one thing I want you to trust me on is that less is actually more, especially in this day and age. I want you to have 2 or 3 core packages of services that clearly solve the problems of your ideal customers. And you know that I love a full service planning package. I think there are so many couples who truly desire to work with a planner from start to finish. And a full service package can include everything from planning to coordination. And it can also include design if you want to add design to your services. It doesn't have to, but it can include design. I also think that day of coordination is not the best service to offer, and instead I'd really prefer you to offer something slightly more comprehensive like event management. I did a whole video on day of coordination and why I think it sucks. I will also link to that below. You can hear my unvarnished opinion, but day of coordination is not the best service to offer, and it doesn't really allow you to shine. It doesn't allow you to support clients in the way they also need to be supported. I'm also not a big fan of partial planning. I think partial planning without guardrails is a recipe for scope creep and disaster. Instead, what I'd like you to do, if you're going to offer partial planning, is to define what that truly means. What I love to see wedding planners do in offering partial is to offer event management, which is their bare minimum, plus additional services. And this might be in the form of planning hours so that you can log your time and charge for hours accordingly and be compensated correctly, and also avoid scope creep, which is a real thing, which I also think I did a whole video on scope creep. If I did, guess what? I'm going to link that below too. I'm pretty sure I did. We do a lot of videos around here. I can't remember them all. I do want you to think of your services like a menu, and you don't need to be Cheesecake Factory. No shade to Cheesecake Factory, okay? But honestly, the portion sizes and the amount of options on the menu is too much. We don't need that much. We want to bring this down to a respectable level and do what's best for you and your client. Now, what you remove doesn't have to be gone forever. It can also become a la carte, which is what we're going to talk about next. The next step in creating planning packages that sell is to diversify your revenue streams. I talked about planning hours, which is a great way to diversify your revenue streams. And I also talked about creating some a la carte options. A la carte options that I love are venue research. This is great for couples who come to you without a wedding venue. You can offer them a premium service to find the perfect locations for their wedding. I also love rental management as an add-on service. If you're not big into doing RSVP tracking and out-of-town bags, stuffing and delivering, and you would prefer to be compensated on a case-by-case basis, then my suggestion is to remove those from your packages and offer them as an a la carte service. This way, clients who truly value that premium service will buy that service, and the clients who don't value it will not haggle you on your packages and ask you to remove those services and adjust the price. Yeah, I hated when that happened. And as soon as it happened one too many times, that's when I went into our planning packages and started ripping stuff out. I was like, girl, I am not going to adjust the price because you found your venue. And I am not going to adjust the price because you want to manage your RSVPs. So lesson learned, we took those things out, and I suggest that you do that too. Now, when we also think about diversifying your revenue, it doesn't just have to be 10 planning hours or RSVP tracking. You can also look into diversifying your team. If team is something that's on your list this year to build and grow, you may want to think about how you can have an associate planner plan some events and take the lead on some events for you. There are lots of ways to diversify your revenue, but most planners do this through diversification of services and also growing their team. Diversifying your services is going to provide more stability to your planning business, and it's going to help make more money. It's going to allow you to make more money in more places. It's going to help you become more profitable. And that stability is also going to come in really clutch during slow seasons where you might not be getting a lot of payments or retainers. The fifth stage of this process in creating planning packages that sell in 2025 is for you to seriously think about how you're going to price for profit. And this might be the hardest part about creating planning packages that sell, because profit is more than just pricing. And pricing isn't just about covering your hard costs. It's about you valuing your time and your expertise and the transformation that you provide your clients. When I think about the pricing of my programs, I don't just think about my time. I think about my time over the last 20 years. And I think about my time that I've spent learning and sharpening my skills and how I pour all of that knowledge and distill it into you. You have to think of the same. Even if you're relatively new to planning, you bring a lot to the table. You have a lot of life experience that has led you to starting your own wedding planning business. And I want you to value your time and your expertise. And this is where you need to rethink some of your pricing structures. Now, of course, I have a playbook on pricing because of course I do. That's what I do is I create resources that help you learn how to become a better wedding planner. And my Pricing for Profit playbook available in my shop is really the gold standard in how you should be pricing yourself for profit. I walk you through 3 different pricing models, including percentage pricing, and I talk to you about the pros and cons of each, the merits, the things that you need to think about. And I even give you spreadsheets and pricing calculators so that you can come up with your price. I also want to say that I think that your packages this year in your pricing, it needs to make sense to the customer. And I'll throw this in as a bonus tip. Tip number 6. One of my favorite educators, Donald Miller, who talks about marketing and wrote a book called A Story Brand, has a really great quote. And his quote is, if you confuse, you lose. If you confuse your customer, you lose them. And in packages and pricing, if the consumer is confused by who you are and what you offer and how it adds value to the planning process, they're gonna leave. They're gonna be out. And so you need to also make sure that your packages this year make sense, that the services make sense. And it's not just that they fit what the client wants and needs, but that your descriptions of them make sense. Don't use flowery language. Don't get in the weeds with overly verbose prose. I need you to break things down in the most simplest of ways. And this is where ChatGPT is going to come in and just offer you a quick win. You're going to ask ChatGPT as you're creating your packages and your pricing, you're going to say, ChatGPT, please make this so easy that a 4th grader could understand what I offer and why it's valuable. And that might feel like it goes against everything that you should be doing, but you don't need to use big words or be overly verbose to sound smart and to sell your planning packages. So if you need help with pricing, I want to invite you to check out my pricing playbook. And if you need help with your packages and you want to know exactly what should be in your full service planning package and your month of coordination or event management package, I have a great playbook and it's called Creating Planning Packages That Sell. Also linked to it, which is in my shop down in the description box below. I have lots of resources for you to continue this conversation, but those are some tips as we start off 2025 for you to create planning packages that sell this year in your planning business. I'd love to hear from you. What would you like me to record next? What are your questions? How can I continue to serve you even on this exact topic? Let me know. You never know. You might see a video coming up real soon answering your question. But I want to thank you for being here. I've linked to a couple of videos that I think you should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.